But I remember this day, the first time coming up the mountain, riding up and seeing the view overlooking the valley. You know, we're one of the later states to get here, so you get here and you see 500 kids. You know, you meet kids everywhere from California to Rhode Island, and they're as interested in government as you are, and you realize that, hey, I'm not the only one out there who cares about these issues at a young age. I'm not the only one out there who's crazy enough to think I can make a difference. And having that unity is really awesome. You know, those friendships last, I'm sure will be a lifetime. They've lasted this long so far. My best friends have come from this program. But I would say it's just this continual reminder that the world is bigger than you. You come here and you see this magnificent place, and you find some time alone sitting in the amphitheater, or you take a run around the hundreds of acres here, you climb up that mountain, and you realize the world's so much bigger than you. But instead of concluding that, well, I'm small and insignificant, you come here and you're rejuvenated and you're empowered, and you realize that you can go out and make a difference regardless of the size and the grandeur of the big world out there. Youth in government served as the foundation to help me understand how to speak publicly, how to defend my ideals, how to choose the harder right over the easier wrong, but more importantly, understand what it means to be a citizen. Understanding what a good friend is and understanding what it means to have your back, learning what that means began here, and then going into the military and seeing that same feeling, I definitely connected a lot with the experiences I had here through Blue Ridge and through youth in government. The military is one of the most diverse aspects of our society. You know, racially, ethnically, it's becoming much more gender diverse, and you get that on this mountain here. Being able to talk and have a deep conversation with somebody who's had a very different background from you and find points on which you can connect began here, and it's been very useful to me in the military as well. Knowing that people will care for you regardless of if you have a different ideology or think differently is not often heard when you see all the screaming voices on Facebook. But coming here and knowing that that's possible, there's not many spaces where you can argue extremely passionately on an issue and then 2 minutes later sit on a porch and have a conversation like this with your best friend. This whole concept of one rock in a pond continues to make waves. So you send 650 kids out of this experience every summer at 650 stones in the respective ponds where they're going to continue to influence those around them to hopefully change the way, you know, we all interact with each other. So I just presented in the plenary session here. So it was the top 10 proposals of CONA. And the presiding officer who was presiding over my proposal, we had always butted heads. Very different ideologies, did not get along. And after I presented, everybody's congratulating me. They asked you to leave the chambers, and he left his podium and he came outside, and he just starts tearing up, and he's like, "I respect you for who you are, everything that you've done. Despite our differences, thank you for what you've done." And you know, it's very rare that people put their pride aside for a relationship to be built. So I come back to that moment often when I get frustrated with people, or and remember how much he humbled himself, and I try to do the same. And it's funny how you remember little moments in your life that you weren't expecting to remember, and then you end up doing it for years later. But that moment has consistently come back in my mind when I remember how I should treat people.